9 News at 9 starts right now.
Tonight, we know one high school student is dead. 2 others are injured after a shooting at Evergreen High School. Thanks for joining us at 9. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Kyle Clark. Today, a student shot 2 of his classmates before killing himself. It happened around lunchtime at Evergreen High, about 30 miles west of Denver in the foothills. Here's what we know. The shooting started at about 12:30 in the afternoon on school grounds. Jeffco Sheriff's Office says the shooting took place both inside and outside the school. The Sheriff's Office says deputies were on the scene within 2 minutes and had contacted the shooter within 5 minutes.
The reason that the response was so quick and so overwhelming is because we're law enforcement. Police and fire just show up. When you hear the words active shooter and you know that there's kids involved, we're coming. And a lot of people self-deployed, and we're grateful for it. There was a need to get here, and if there was going to be a continued active shooter, we were going to stop that threat.
We have team coverage tonight from Evergreen. Spencer Soisher spent the day talking to parents trying to reunite with their children. Colton Chavez has more on the law enforcement response.
First, though, we begin with Ria Jha outside St. Anthony Hospital, where the injured students were taken today. Ria?
Yeah, we're at the St. Anthony's in Lakewood, where they took those critically injured students. But obviously there were hundreds of students in the school, and we know a lot of them actually ran away from the school in order to stay safe. Here's some police dispatch audio that we heard earlier this afternoon.
We were notified that there's a house west of our location here that has multiple children and parents in it.
Saigon, who lives about a half-mile from the school, he ended up taking in more than a dozen students into his home who ran about a half-mile all the way to his house. He said they were pounding on his door, screaming and begging to come inside.
I mean, I could tell by the pounding that something bad had happened. I figured maybe there was an accident out on the road in front of here. But when I opened the door, there was about 7 young men, and they were screaming, "There's a shooter up at the school. There's a shooter up at the school. Let us in, please." And I said, yeah, get in here quick.
In total, Don sheltered about 18 students and an adult for a few hours. He said he knew other neighbors in the area also did the same before eventually taking them all down to the reunification area. And I know he said that he was very happy to have been able to at least shelter those students for a short amount of time. Here at the hospital, though, we are waiting on the update and a status on those 2 surviving students, and we will keep you guys updated when we do get that information. Live in Lakewood, Ria Jha, 9 News.
Jeffco Sheriff's Office described the process of reuniting students with their parents today as somewhat bumpy.
It took hours to finish this process of getting all the students back to their parents. 9 News reporter Spencer Soisher spent the day at the Reunification Center. Spencer, it was emotional for everyone.
Yeah, really hard to watch, Kyle and Alex. We have learned, though, in the last half hour that Evergreen and Conifer schools will be closed tomorrow. It was not easy for parents to get to their kids today, especially as they were moved from one elementary school to another. The kids were reunited with their parents at an elementary school that's normally not that far away from where we're standing right now at Evergreen High School, but there were roadblocks around town that made it really difficult to get there. Once parents did get to the reunification area, there was a long line of cars filled with parents desperate to go hug their kids. Some even just ditched their cars on the side of the road. Those reunions, like we said, emotional. Parents crying, students crying. I overheard parents asking those early questions like, what did they say to you? What did you hear? Heard another student tell their parent they went into survival mode.
I was trying to get home, and my daughter's a senior at the high school. I was out doing errands. She called me right away and said she heard shots fired. She was already outside the building having lunch in her senior parking lot. But then when they heard the shots, she just drove away and saw a lot of kids running out of the school. I was trying to get home.
Jeffco Public Schools is promising mental health services for students who need it. Tonight, though, this area is still closed around Evergreen High School as law enforcement is still in the area on what's become just a terrible day here in this community. Live in Evergreen, Spencer Soisher, 9 News.
So we have learned throughout the course of the day that there was no school resource officer on campus at Evergreen High School today.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez is in Evergreen tonight for us as well. Colton, Jeffco Sheriff's deputies were on the scene within 2 minutes of the shooting happening.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And I did learn some new information within the last few minutes. That reason why that SRO, that school resource officer, was not at Evergreen, I'm being told, is because it is a shared school resource officer, and that's why they weren't there today at that location. But talking more about the Jeffco Sheriff's Office, all day today, they talked about how they have to train for moments and situations just like this. Sheriff Marinelli actually applauding her deputies not only for getting to the school within 2 minutes, but being able to locate that shooter within 5. But then the sheriff went on to talk about the difficulty, she says, for having to respond to situations like this in small communities like Evergreen.
We train for this. We're prepared for this. It's not something we want to prepare for, but we are prepared. This was our people. This was our kids. We work with our citizens each and every day. We work with the kids in our schools each and every day. This affects us.
And Alex and Kyle, as you can see behind me, we're still about a mile out from the Evergreen High School, so you can tell there is still a ton of investigation still going on. There is law enforcement with presences being known all over the place still tonight. And one thing that Sheriff Marinelli mentioned at the end of the press conference was, if you see any of these law enforcement officers out here investigating, do your best to give them the most space you can and don't fly any of those drones up into that airspace. Live in Evergreen, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
We are hearing from Colorado's elected leaders after today's shooting. Senator John Hickenlooper, a Democrat, talked about the shooting and the broader problem of gun violence in America on Capitol Hill.
We've got to put bipartisan experts together and say, how can we, with common sense solutions, reduce the carnage? It's just, I look at those kids. I mean, if we were a terrorist, if there were a terrorist trying to hurt our country, what better thing, what more harmful thing could they do but to make our children scared to learn, scared to go to school, right? We're terrorizing ourselves.
Democratic Governor Jared Polis echoed those thoughts in a statement tonight. He wrote, "This kind of violence has absolutely no place in Colorado or anywhere, especially our schools, where kids should feel safe to learn and grow." We'll continue covering the story in the hours and in the days to come. You can find more extensive coverage online at 9news.com or on the 9 News app, which is free to download in the Apple and Google Play stores.
Let's switch gears here, talk the weather. It was a hot day today. Denver hit 91 degrees, but things are cooling off a bit. This is the view we got from CSU campus in Fort Collins as the sun set on this hot Wednesday. Feels like summer's sticking around for us, Chris.
Yeah, just a little bit longer. We did hit 91, as you mentioned, Alex. Exactly right. Our hottest day in 20 days for us. First time we've hit 90 degrees since August the 21st for us in Denver today. Certainly on the hot side. We've cooled back into the low 80s around most of the metro area, though some spots have dropped back into the mid 70s. At this hour, we are seeing some showers and some rumbles of thunder, those mainly north of Denver up by Rocky Mountain National Park. Estes Park seeing some of those showers and some rumbles of thunder. I expect this activity, though, to dissipate as it approaches Fort Collins and Loveland in the next hour. This is where the majority of the actions is right now, and it's going to be for tomorrow as well. Our southwestern mountains, the San Juans, the Sagre Cristos. This is the very beginning of what's going to be an active stretch for us here across our southern mountains, and this could lead to the potential for some flooding. In fact, there is a flood watch up for parts of the mountains for tomorrow, and that's as a big plume of monsoonal moisture moves on in for tomorrow, and this will last into Friday as well. We'll see some impacts from that right here in Denver as well. Pretty busy Thursday and Friday of Colorado weather shaping on up. We'll break it down for you in just a few minutes.